Today we got a great speaker. As you know, he brought it last. He does such an incredible job about the systems, the system. Hailing from San Diego. Yep, you know he is. And we can't wait to hear what he got to say this morning, because I know he's got some prepared that's been bubbling over in him. Without further ado, from the San Diego area, with the largest regional director organization in San Diego and extending to other cities, one and only, the great Mr. Julian Lewis.
Good morning, Mr. Thomas.
Good morning, Mr. James.
The Godfather. I see you there. I see you. And before I get started, I just want to show my appreciation for Mr. Al Thomas. I want to let you guys know that, listen, not only is Mr. Thomas a leader of leaders, not only has he been a circle of champions for like over a decade, not only has he helped thousands and thousands of people since even before starting in network marketing. I mean, that was his goal. He did that in real estate, and then he took that same heart and he brought it here. But he's open. He's one of those leaders that, as he leads, he's open to hear suggestions. He's open to hear what's going on, because he's always trying to make himself better for the next generation of leaders. And it's great to know that we have that in a man who is leading us in this organization. So thank you, sir, for everything that you do, and all the wisdom and all the advice over the years. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get into this. I have a lot of information to give you guys. It won't be overwhelming, though. I think you'll appreciate what's happening, and something I normally don't do. I actually put together a few slides for you guys. So hopefully be excited about that. I don't do it normally, but I did it today because it was important. But before I get into that, I'm going to show you the first slide so you can see what we're going to be talking about. And some of the leaders, the RVPs, Mrs. Jocelyn Driscoll, and a few of the RDs, you're going to be excited about this. Some of you that are new are going to be excited, but others are going to be scared, because I know this is a scary topic for some. Okay, so let me go ahead and expand this so I can share so you can see it. So this is what we're going to be. So don't get nervous. You guys nervous? Somebody's nervous. I know it. Don't get nervous. This is what we're going to be talking about today. Okay. So if you're driving, you might want to pull over because we're going to be talking about what creates the results in the business, and that is closing. So just to let you know, that is what we're going to be talking about this morning. And I'm going to set it off with a quick 4-minute and 55-second video. And what this video has to do with, you're going to notice, is going to be talking about if you're afraid to fail, watch this. I love Mel Robbins. I love her mindset. And what I've noticed is most people that don't close, it's because they're afraid to fail. But what does being afraid to fail really mean? So before we get into closing, you guys know how I work. I have to get your mind right first, right? So we're going to get into the thought patterns and why you're not closing. And it has to do with being afraid to fail, but being afraid to fail is really something else. And I want you to pay attention, because I want you to tell me in the chat. So I have something for you to do. I want you to tell me in the chat when we're done what being afraid of failure really means. And then once we can get that settled, then we'll get into closing. All right. So let's go ahead and get to the movies.
So I want to talk to you about failure, because so many of you have been writing and asking about how do you deal with failure?
I'm afraid to fail.
I'm scared of failure.
I have such a fear of failure that it is holding me back.
So every one of these negative thoughts, by the way, all boil down to the same one, that I'm not good enough. Fear of failure is the same thing as feeling like you're not good enough, because what you're actually believing about yourself is that when the challenge rises, you're not good enough to meet it, that you're not good enough to try harder, that you're not good enough to try something and oh my God, if I failed, my life would be over. Here's the crazy thing about the fear of failure, okay? The reason why most people fail is because they're afraid of failing. Your fear is making you do the thing you're most afraid of. You fail because you don't try. I mean, it's like crazy. I hope that this is hitting you like a punch in the gut, that it's actually the fear of failing that makes you feel like a failure. And the solution is really simple. You have to push through it because you're never going to get what you want in life if you don't learn how to push yourself outside your comfort zone. And you know, the major problem, I think, with failure is that way too many of you think that you're supposed to achieve your dreams. You're supposed to achieve your goals. And the truth is, what has always happened for me is that my dreams and goals that I set have always led me to something else that I wasn't even thinking about. They led me to something that I was destined and designed to discover. None of which ever felt right, and none of those things were actually very successful. You know, I mean, ultimately, Monster-in-Laws was canceled. The show I shot with Fox never aired. That's not successful. What I learned in those projects led me to being able, when the moment came, to meet the moment. Discover what you're looking for when you're willing to hear what's in your heart, when you have the clarity to do that, and when you have the courage to pursue it. And it may not turn out how you like. It may not be the blockbuster that you thought it would. But when you listen to your heart and you keep moving forward, you get rewarded, and you also get the lessons that you need. You can't fail at your dreams because they're meant to be pursued, not achieved. You didn't fail at them. You've tried a bunch of different things that didn't work yet. That's it. And you gained experience. One of the things that I find really interesting is that when you have big dreams, sometimes the scariest moment is when you say them out loud. So what you're present to is not your dreams. You're present to failure. Like, part of the problem for you in really fully realizing and expressing what you want is that the second that you say you want to change, you're present to it not happening. And that's a pattern that we have to break. If you put in the work, you can make your dreams happen. Dreams are personal, so are the obstacles. If you stay in a mindset where you're present to failure, every day is going to be about starting. And the obstacle that's in your way is the thinking pattern of being afraid of failure. It's also the fear of uncertainty that you're dealing with, the uncertainty of what happens if everything doesn't go according to plan. The thing is it never goes away. If you're about to do something for the first time, chances are high that you might embarrass yourself. But what it means is if you're willing to be the kind of person that is willing to embarrass themselves, it means you're trying something new. It means you're going for it when everybody else sits on the sidelines. So before you give up, the only thing that matters is the work that you're putting in, not the end result. Anyone who is truly successful did one thing, and it's the same thing that we all do. They put in the work. Will you fail along the way? Of course. And you know what? I hope so. When you fail once, you double your chances of success. Failure doesn't make you give up. Failure happens when you give up. All I want you to ever do is try. I just want you to try. In those moments where you hear yourself, I want you to try. In those moments where you know that it's time to speak up, I want you to try. That's all that I ever ask of you, because if you simply do that, and I say simply as if it's so easy, right? You will literally unlock the potential of your life.
All right, so you guys did anyone get what it was? Did you guys get it? Let me look, I'm looking right now. Did anyone see it? You guys didn't get it? Oh my gosh, what happened? Put it in the chat if you got it, because I want to see. It's not the feel of, there it is, I'm not good enough. It's the failure, it's the fear of not being good enough. So the thing that stops us, so here's what's gonna trip you out. People who say they're perfectionists, let me tell you something, they don't feel that they're good enough. See, being a perfectionist, if you're a perfectionist, that allows you to not do it until it's perfect, but it will never be perfect, which means chances are you won't have to do it. That's a part of not feeling good enough. perfectionism, as well as the fear of failure are all tied in with not being good enough. Here's the truth. None of us are experts in this game. What we are is we're consistently learning. And because we're always in it, we're always getting better at our craft. And if you ever want to learn how to do something great, you learn it from someone who's doing it on a consistent basis. Okay, so what I want to talk about today is closing and how you shouldn't be afraid of it. There's so many things that I've heard people say, well, I don't want to say the wrong things. Well, you know what? You don't even know if you're saying the wrong things if you don't open your mouth to say something. See, I love the idea of you all of you have heard of ready, aim, fire, right? You've heard ready, aim, fire. I've actually subscribed to something different. It's called ready, fire, aim. And that's the entrepreneur way. Ready, fire, aim is the only way when you're new that you'll be able to get the feel of how far off the target you are so that you can fire again. See, ready, fire, aim allows you to understand and look at business differently, knowing you're going to make mistakes, but that they're going to come and they're supposed to. See, the mistakes are not bad. We've put a negative connotation to mistakes. Mistakes are not bad. The missteps are not bad. The entire process of learning, you can't take out the missteps because you don't know you don't understand the feeling of balance when you learn how to walk without the missteps. So the missteps are a necessary part of the learning process because what you're doing is getting a feel for your balance when you're walking. That's the process of success. And that's the process of closing. And I hope you guys caught what I just did right there. So what I want to do is we're going to get into the slides and we're going to talk about closing, but I have somebody special on the line who's doing some incredible things. And she's getting a lot of results right now. And what I want her to do, because she's going to be telling you about how it's going now, but Marie, before you talk about how it's going now, I don't want you to talk about that yet. Yeah, I'm going to ask you to talk about that later. What I want you to do is talk about what was the reason, because you're the same human being, but things are completely different. So what was holding you back, or what was causing you to not have results when you started in the beginning? Can you talk about that?
Yes, Mr. Lewis. Good morning, everyone. I'm Marie Belena. I'm a software engineer. I joined ACI in July 2020. What was stopping me when I joined? I mean, from the success and the momentum, it's really about my fear of failure. I always win, and for me, when people say no, that hurts. And it was getting personal for me, and I also have the ego, that big ego in me, that caused me not to win at, I could have done so much more last year, but it was the ego of not reaching out to Mr. Lewis. I thought I'm good enough. If people felt they're not worthy, I thought I was good enough because I was built that way. But it was really the ego that that stopped me from really growing.
I appreciate that. So here's what I want to kind of get into that. So I know Marie personally. We've known each other for years, and we talk about all kinds of things. We talk about our kids, we talk about life. We've had so many different conversations over the course of the last 10 years. And when she got involved with ACN, I said, hey, do 3-way calls, connect with me. Don't try to answer the questions yourself. Get me on the phone. And what she's describing as ego is what she would do is say, I know how to answer these questions. I know how to do these things. So she would answer them all on her own. And then the people would just, they would disappear. And because she knew about sorting, she would assume, oh, well, these aren't the right people. So I just need to sort faster. And I don't know if you remember that, Marie, you would say, I just need to sort faster. I just need to sort faster. And so I said, listen, I'm not being polite. I need you to start 3-way calling because I need you to hear how I answer. right? So this happened, but she's my friend. And so I'm not gonna force her, she's an adult. So I let her do her thing, and she did. But something happened, and something woke her up. Do you mind sharing what woke you up?
So May of this year, I got diagnosed with breast cancer. I'm a very, very healthy person. Mr. Lewis has been a part of my physical, transformation. I'm not as good looking physical wise, but because I don't listen a lot to him, but he's been helping me change my health and my journey in health and fitness. But I got diagnosed. Everyone was surprised about that, and I said, well, this is it, and what can I do? I'll just have to change my mindset, and my work is causing the stress. My work is killing me. So I had a heart-to-heart talk with Mr. Lewis, and I said, you know what, let me put my head in the game. Let me just stop. If you were able to walk away from an IT job, I can walk away too. I just have to change my perspective. I just have to trust you. We've been friends for 10 years. I know how successful you are. I'm just going to listen. I'm just going to be a sponge, and I'm just going to always get my people in a three-way call with you.
Now, this was tough for me as a friend, because Marie was there, and we talked about things when my father passed, and it was through you guys know, from complications from pancreatic cancer. And so when she got diagnosed, immediately I was thinking about her daughters, and immediately I was thinking about how she needed to be around for them, and she started thinking about how being at work was taking away from so many things. And so the same human being, but she made a decision, and you heard that earlier. It's about a decision. She made a decision, and so she decided to be coachable, guys, and it was uncomfortable. And I'm just gonna put it out there. Even was when I was at Costco. What day was that? Even just recently, a couple of days ago, we had a tough conversation about some things, and she's growing like crazy. And I can tell because of the change in the business. So I'm going to get into what we talked about, and the difference is she started listening to what I was saying and using the language, and all of a sudden, explosion happened in her business. And the language I'm using, I want you guys to know, I'm not special for the language I'm using. I just followed the system that I was taught, and I handed it to her. That's it. So it's not me. I don't want you to get confused with that. Sometimes we think, oh my gosh, this person's magical, or oh, that person's a unicorn, or all these weird things. And what that does is it allows us to say, well, they're special. That's why they're winning. I'm not. That's why I'm not. And the truth is, I'm nobody special. I have work ethic, and I applied a system. Okay. So let me bring up these slides. And if you take a look here, as we go through it, first thing I want to tell you is going to freak you out, right? So I love this. So what you're about to see, first thing you need to know is here's what you're about to see. When it comes to Marie, she built it 100% virtually. All right. It's all warm market. The contact was made through social media, and the team is building globally with no boundaries. And that's what's so cool. That's so awesome. And when you see them, you understand the women that she connected with, she knew from grade school. I'm gonna say it again, like elementary school. And when you see them they're always laughing. It's like when I'm on the phone with them, they went back to grade school, and it's the same little girls. And what I love about it, and I told Marie this, they went back to the fearless little girls that they were, and they're starting to remember. So I need you guys to remember who you were when you were fearless. So this is one of those calls. So I put this on here, speed and exposure. If you see the screenshot, that is my desktop. And you can't see it on here, but if you see the time, that's 8:30 in the morning, West Coast time. And we have all these people on. And we have people on from Japan. We have people on from South Korea. We have people on from Australia. We have people on from the East Coast and the West Coast, all in one call. Because we realize that the way you build a business is identifying where people are, and people are online. And so what I taught Marie is, you're great at exposing people, but you're missing one important ingredient: speed. You remember that conversation, Marie? And I said, speed is what creates momentum. It's the speed and exposure. You have to think, I need to recruit, and you might want to write this down, ladies and gentlemen. I need to recruit for a recruit yesterday. And that's the word I use. That means immediately. So I need to get a recruit for a recruit yesterday. What does a recruit for a recruit means? It means that if someone's interested, you identify someone that wants to enroll ASAP for that person. So that means showing, also, you want to show the husband and wife together or right after, because the one they love the most is usually the one that will shoot their dream out of the sky in love if you don't show them right away. All right. And you want to start to create or start to keep this philosophy. Tomorrow is too late. Tomorrow is too late. Speed and exposures is necessary. And at the end of the presentation, this is also really important. And Marie started to learn this. You want to know what questions to ask. Some people are asking questions sometimes, and I write this down. Make sure your questions don't create what we call negative triggers. All right. A lot of people ask questions, or they speak in a language that brings up or elicits negative triggers. If I say, hey, you can do this, but you don't have to, that's a negative. Or, hey guys, if you can make a decision now, but if you want, we can just talk later. That's a negative trigger. You don't have to say that. What they're going to lean towards, people are going to lean towards whatever is the path of least resistance, because people will follow the path of least resistance over pain. Get this though, and pleasure. People would rather do nothing than do something if they have to get up. And so I remember Mr. Thomas used to talk about the lazy dog that was sitting on a nail. And if you remember that story, that's what that talked about. So what are some of the right questions to ask? You guys, the questions that I ask are really simple. I keep it simple every single time. And these are closing questions. So I say, first of all, what did you like the most about what you saw? Okay. Some people like to say it after that, do you see an opportunity for yourself? I completely eliminate that question. Here's why. Always assume the close. I assume they see opportunity, because why wouldn't you? This makes all the sense in the world. Did you guys catch that? So I assume the close. I assume that they're getting in. And that energy allows them to, it's infectious. They'll feel that. Marie's seen this many times at the end of a presentation, and then people that seem like they were not quite interested all of a sudden signed up. And she's like, what? And it's because we assume the close. So I say, what did you like the most? And then after they answer, Marie, when I say, what do you like the most? Let's say I say, I love the fact that you can save money. What's your response?
You know what? That's what I love too. I was able to save money on my internet when I switched, and a lot of my friends who are in the business saved money by switching their service to ACM.
Got it. So what if I said, man, I love the fact that you earn residual income?
Oh my God, I love that too. When I saw this business and I saw the residual income, I can't believe that I didn't know this earlier on, and that's why I joined the business.
Are you guys getting that? So when someone tells you what you love, you say, yeah, you know what? I love that about that too. I love that about that too. And then the next question is, based on what you saw, do you see yourself more as a business owner making money with ACN, or as a customer saving money with ACN? Which one? What I never say is, so would you like to get started? I'm not gonna say that. That's gonna create an uncomfortable response. So based on what you saw here, what do you see yourself more as a business partner, or do you see yourself as a customer? And they're gonna answer business owner, customer, whatever. And then this is the magic question. This is, I didn't say it's magic, but this is the one. Well, based on what you told me, let me ask you this question. What's the one thing holding you back from getting started right now? I don't say what is holding you back, because they might throw out something and then you handle that objection and they say, well, there's something else. And then you handle that objection and they say, well, there's something else. And that'll go on for the rest of your life. I don't have time for that. What's the one thing holding you back from getting started right now? And they're going to tell you. A lot of times they actually say, what, Marie? They say, nothing.
Yeah, nothing. I'm like, okay, then.
Well, let's get you started. See, because what most people aren't used to, what are you helping people to do? You're actually helping them to do something that the reason the wealthy are wealthy is because they know how to do this. But most people aren't wealthy because they weren't taught how to do this well. You're teaching people, you're guiding them through the steps of making a decision. So you're taking them through their mind to see, okay, there's nothing holding back. People are so used to just not making a decision that they'll default to not making a decision. Oh, I got to think about it. Oh, this, oh, that. None of that is true. They just are so used to not making decisions that that's their default. And so that's what feels comfortable. So they go on not being successful, because not being successful comes from not being able to make a decision. I hope you guys are getting this. And so when you've gotten whatever the decision is, oh, I'm leaning towards business owner. Oh, I'm leaning towards customer. Nothing's holding me back. One thing's holding me back. My wife is holding me back. My aunt is holding me back. Whatever it is, you handle the objection. And then before you leave the meeting, this is a game changer, because a lot of people don't do this. Schedule the next meeting before the current meeting ends. You know what most people do? I think it's from corporate America, because in corporate America, everyone's getting a check, everyone works there, so you can schedule something for next week, and you get used to that as a culture. But that's not real life. In real life, people aren't getting a check yet. They're connected with you, but after they leave you, they go back to their normal life, and then they forget about you. The further away from you they are, it starts to slowly go away from their thoughts. So you schedule the next meeting before the current meeting ends. You schedule that time, whether that's immediately, I'm going to hop off of this Zoom and contact you right now, whether that's tomorrow, whatever it is, you schedule so that you're not chasing people. You already have the scheduled time to meet, okay? Now, here's something that goes along with closing: leverage. And leverage, I'm not talking about leveraging your team, like leveraging and delegating. I'm talking about leverage as a building principle. The fortune is in the follow-up. See, when you launch people right away, we call it a soft launch. We share it with a few people immediately. When you start sharing the business with people, you're building equity. I'm gonna tell you, this is going to be so awesome for a lot of you. You're building equity. What it means is, as people are seeing the business, you're building a group of interested people. And the moment you get one person to enroll, who's ready to enroll, you can call back every single one of those interested people that weren't going to get in because they don't know how to make decisions. And you can say, I have someone getting in right now. If you get in, they can be a part of your team. They can be a part of your team. And what will happen is you'll get 2 people to join. And now you take those 2 interested people and you keep calling the list. Hey, I got 3 people joining. You can get in. They'll be a part of your team, which means you're already halfway to earning or halfway your structure to that $700 bonus. All right. Now here's something I need to share with you. The greatest danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it is too low and we reach it. Michelangelo. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I hear a lot of people and their language is about qualifications. We need to get you qualified. The problem is that is the smallest mark you can hit, and we reach it. But there is nothing for the new person really by getting qualified. And it is so little that you don't stretch them. You want to focus on promoting the ETL, period. And when you promote to ETL, when you focus on promoting to ETL, what does promoting to ETL get you? It gets you qualified for leadership training that the co-founders do. It gets you the $700 bonus for the month of November. It allows you to start getting paid every time someone gets qualified in your organization, not under another ETL. All of that is important. And what does it do by default? It gets you qualified. Do you see what I'm saying? But qualifying isn't the goal. And a lot of people are aiming too low. And if someone doesn't get qualified, what do they have? Nothing. And so now you're juggling. And that's a big reason why new leaders have low qualifications. I hope you guys caught that. Now, promotions and payouts is the way to go. You want to set the right goals. 7-day game plan to ETL, fast start bonus. What we say is we have a 7-day game plan to ETL. Some people stretch that 7 days over the 30. Some people do it right away. But our mission is to get that done. Fast start bonus. How many of your people can we help? It's not about that person. Apple is our newest ETL. It's not about Apple. We said, how many of your people can we help get this bonus out? And then CQ happens by default because it is necessary to be a CQ in order to get to ETL. So it's not what we're trying to do. It happens as a quick speed bump on the way to ETL. And then because of that, you get results. And I wanted to share this with you because the women that worked with Marie, 100% of the people that joined her team in the month of October were qualified. And 100% of the people that joined in October received the $700 bonus, and 100% of them promoted to executive team leader. And they're all in different places. And just to show you what it looks like, here's what it looks like. So there you go. There you have Marie. Marie introduced Peachy, who she went to grade school with. Same thing with Rochelle. But look at Rochelle. So Rochelle started October 2nd. All right. Rochelle, who's in her organization? Cecilia. Cecilia brought in Melanie and Brenda. Peachy also brought in, because both Marie and Peachy went to school with Apple. Peachy brought in Apple. Apple brought in Vivian. Vivian brought in Jonathan, who is Apple's cousin. Okay. Brenda, if you look, Melanie brought in Brenda, but she also brought in her father, Jose. And Melanie last night brought in Aaron. And I'm telling you this, Melanie, look at her start date, 10/29/21. She promoted in 7 days to ETL. All of these people promoted to ETL in their first few weeks minimum. That's 190 team points. That's over $3,000 paid out through fast start bonuses. And I'm sharing this with you because I hear it on the call, and it sometimes breaks my heart because I hear on the call people that want it, but they're focusing on the wrong things. And Mr. Thomas, you can vouch. I had a conversation with you in September, and I said, for me, it's not about production. This is before September. I told him, for me, it's not about production. I can produce. I need to know that the environment is the right one to show up in. I need to know that we're not doing things at random. I need to know that something is leading up to something else, or I can't produce in that environment because I won't. And I told him, I gave him my word. I said, we will produce in October and we will start up again. And it's not something that happens by chance. It's something that happens by design when you understand how to get the result. And Mr. Thomas will tell you, we had that conversation over the phone. Now, Marie, if you mind sharing the last part, because I know you had the last part, I would love for you to do so.
So Mr. Lewis and I had a heart-to-heart talk, and yeah, when he's on that mentor hat, he's really tough, but he says it with a good intention. And he said, do you really want to go back to work? And I said, no. Then let's make this happen. You just have to trust me. Whenever I tell you something, it's because I know it will bring in results. You just have to let go of that ego. You just have to copy what I say. You just have to listen. Just listen and let me just watch me, and then just copy. And that's what I did. And that created fire in my organization. I just always have my energy up, even if I'm not feeling well because of my medication. Whenever I'm on a call, I'm excited, I'm up, I'm smiling, and everyone gets that. And that's how we close. And that's, as what Mr. Lewis is saying, we're all giggling, we're all happy. It's because of the energy of the room.
And she does that so well. And the transfer of energy. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I saw her go through some personal things. I saw her happy and excited like this when I first met her. But then I also saw her go through a sad time. And so it means the world to see her happy and excited, not because of what's going on in the world or in her life, but because of what Jocelyn said, Ms. Driscoll said, choice. She decided to be happy. And that was infectious, and it went through her organization. And that, and using the right language and following a system and adding speed to the equation, got the results and are continuing to. And she's not done yet, people. I need you to know this, that this month already, 50% of the enrollments from this month are already CQ, because they're on their road to ETL. And this is what's happening. This is what she's doing. And I'm just here to support it. And I needed you guys to hear it, because I know there are ETLs on this call that have been ETLs for a little while. And you may think maybe this is what I'm going to be. But the truth is, you decide what you're going to be. This whole thing we call reality, you're a creator. In my opinion, based on my beliefs, spiritually, God created creators. And we create through thought and word. You speak life, like I said last week, or death through your tongue. And God said, let there be light. My question is, are you speaking light? Or are you speaking death? Your choice is your choice, and you can create that reality. And her choice went from dark to light, And now she's happy and excited as we build. So with that being said, Mr. Thomas, I'm done.